Here we go. 5 Dragonflight story threads that need resolving. So as we head into what will be likely towards the end of this expansion, we saw BlizzCon's happening in November. We're going to get the next expansion announcement. All these things are coming. So there's a couple storylines that still need to be wrapped up here. Taliesin and Evitel touch on them in this video. Let's see what it's all about.
This video, it's sponsored by Squarespace.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking unfinished plot lines, the threads of stories started in Dragonflight.
By the way, if you've played Warcraft long enough, you know that sometimes plot lines never get finished.
Which haven't
That
yet
happens.
been tied up in Dragonflight, and ask, hey Blizz, you know that story over there? You gonna tie that up or what? I mean, you gonna do anything?
We
about
still got
those?
night
About
elves that
story,
don't even
Blizz?
have a
Because
tree.
as patch
They're just sitting
10.1.5
on a
gets ready
seat.
to release in like a week,
What
many
sword?
questions
Yeah.
will be
Hashtag
answered.
what
Many
sword,
questions
exactly.
will be basically ignored or put off for a later date, because that's wow, dweebs, that's just how we roll. In this
That's
video,
right.
I specifically want to look at story threads that were started this expansion. So like, where is Nathanos? Not a question I'm gonna ask in this vid. When Gilneas though? Not a question I'm
Nathanos, the king of simps. Where is he? I forgot about him, man.
to ask in this vid. But rest assured, the questions we do ask are big, they are important, and they might even take you by surprise. So join us as we look at the great unresolved plot points of Dragonflight and ask, you gonna finish that, Blizz, or what? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
go. 1. Murazond. Let's start off today
No, they're
with
gonna
one
do this
that
for
we
sure. It's
do
what the whole
kind
next
of have
patch is
an
about.
answer to, or at least we will soon. Or at least, kind of, maybe. Chromie and Nosdormu and Murazond and the infinite Dragonflight, because everyone's favorite photo-negative anagram baddies are the entire theme
look
of
so
the new
badass.
Fractures in Time patch, and in it we will see the infinites, and in particular Morchi.
Don't forget, we're getting a skin for all of our dragon mounts, an infinite Dragonflight skin.
And Chrono Lord Deos, who we first met at the climax of
I can't wait
Dragonflight's
to get that.
revamped Alderman dungeon, causing trouble with the time ways and getting up to all sorts of nonsense to kickstart the definite will absolutely happen canon true timeline event of Nosdormu becoming Murazond. Because if there is
Yes.
one thing we know, it's that Nosdormu will become Murazond. That just has to happen. It's the rules, and we know this because Nosdormu has always told us so, and he knows everything because he has seen all of time.
The Giga Chat of
So,
timelines.
Damn, yeah, sorry, Nozzy. But this isn't the loose thread this section is about. I think it's quite likely that in the patch, we do in fact manage to stop Deos and Morchi in the Dawn of the Infinite Mega Dungeon and hold off the inevitable for a little bit longer. Maybe, because actually Blizz have been pretty good with keeping the end RP of the dungeon and the preceding epilogue quests off of the PTR, as they should. But no, the loose thread
Yeah,
that
I'm gonna
concerned
play through
with
this
is
on stream.
whether Nosdormu
I'm excited
will
to see all this
become
stuff.
Murazond at all. Because back in the opening campaign, Chromie was all like,
Yes, Timeless One. I will do exactly what you need me to. I will find another way.
There is none.
Time encompasses all possibilities. You taught me that. I will search every timeline, every moment, until I find a solution to save you.
Yeah, this is like Avengers vibes, you know, where Doctor Strange searched like 1,000 futures or whatever, and then found the one where they actually defeat Thanos. I don't know. They love the Avengers. I feel like they've clearly watched it at over at Blizzard. Very
and it
similar.
was quite easy to miss because it came at the end of one of the most outrageous roller coaster thrill ride quest lines of all time, and also because, aww. But what is happening here is absolutely setting up the possibility
I'm
that
good on necklaces,
Chromie
don't worry
is
about it.
actually going to find a way to stop the inevitable Murazond transformation. As in, that just won't be a thing we have to worry about anymore.
But what if
and
it
I
has
buy
to
it, honestly,
happen? What
because
if
like
by
I
it
said,
not
we only
happening,
have
something else
Nosdormu's
happens?
word that this has to happen. And really, for someone who's supposed to have seen all of time ever, I have to say, I've never met anyone in my life more surprised by stuff that happens. Seriously, like whenever it actually matters, Nosdormu's connection to the timelines is suddenly very weak. Or, oh, the sands of time are blowing extra hard today, or the pollen count in the timelines is a bit high and it makes them all sniffy so we can't see into this very important thing or whatever. Yes, I'm saying Nosdormu is shit at seeing time, get over it. So yeah, I totally believe in Chromie's ability to stop Murazond happening, not just in Dawn of the Infinites, but at all, ever. The question is, will it happen in this expansion? Well, if yes, there's not much time to do it. Like I say, we know there are encrypted
Yeah, the end of the
epilogue quests
expansion is
after the
approaching.
dungeon, which is interesting. But it has also been said in recent interviews that Fractures in Time will be the final installment in the Infinite Dragonflight storyline as far as this expansion, Dragonflight, is concerned. Which
Sure.
means that if Chromie is going to find a way to cheat the inevitable canon, one true timeline that she is sworn to protect, then she's got all of a couple of 10.1.5 epilogue quests to jam it into. Like, oh, we defeated Morchi and Dios. That was a close one. And also, it turns out that Dios had the secret method of you not turning into Murazon written on the inside of his wallet. So
That's a badass wallet. I don't know. I feel like she's going to try to do something and to stop him from becoming Murazon, and it's going to create some kind of ripple effect in the timeline. And then through that ripple, the jailer returns, and his plan comes to fruition, and we're all fucked, and the servers are deleted. There you go.
you don't have to worry about that anymore, ever. Well, I did not see that coming. So I'm going to rate this thread's chances of getting tied up this expansion as a pretty measly
I just
2
revealed the end.
Chromies out of Chromu. Number 2, the World Tree. Something that people
Giga
don't
Chad
really
Jailer,
talk
yeah.
about much at the end of the Aberrus raid was a little cutscene that happened as part of the epilogue quests. After defeating Sarkareth and peering into the endless nothingness of the void. Oh, wait, hang on a minute, that reminds me. 2B, Sarkareth and the endless nothingness of the void. Because that raid ends on a bit of a funny note, doesn't it?
Yeah,
The reveal
sure
that
does.
the entire end chamber that
Shitty
Neltharion
and
built into his secret
cinematic.
tortured laboratory was actually completely overrun by faceless ones and other shadowy wrong'uns who were probably connected in some way to the giant portal of actual void, though, that Nelthy kept behind his big window. And how now there's a big portal to the actual void, though, in the middle of the Dragon Isles.
Yeah.
Do we think anyone's going to mention that
But
again?
did they get
or
loot?
do anything about it? Or do you think the Black Dragonflight boys are all too busy making out and telling each other how great they are to have even noticed
Just
it?
picture-
Because I noticed
Picture this in RP standards. You just killed Sarkareth. There's a giant portal to the void sitting right behind this window now that has been exposed. And yet everybody who in the raid is checking if they got loot. That's right. Loot is king, no matter what. Fuck the lore. We need the
I
loot.
noticed the massive portal to the actual void, though. And yes, I know the Black Dragonflight are shown to be on the case and have everything in hand when we go back there in the epilogue quests. But you'll excuse me if I don't feel too great about leaving the gaping void portal under the care of them, you know? The Black Dragonflight haven't exactly proven themselves the most safe pair of hands when it comes to void stuff in the past. It's kind of like leaving Jordan Peterson in charge of your Twitter account. You'll pop out for milk for a couple of minutes, come back to find him in a 500 tweet argument with, like, the talking clock, accusing it of being too woke. Many players have speculated that the terrible bargains Alexstrasza says Iridicron struck to keep the cause of the Incarnates alive might well have been with the Void, and that would make sense.
By the
Surely
way, you
all
see
of
in the new cinematic we just watched how Alexstrasza says we defeated them before? Is she forgetting that they defeated them with the help of, essentially Neltharion and the Void? And those aren't around anymore to help them? Well, at least the connection to the Void isn't. Yeah, might be a little harder this time, Alexstrasza.
This is important to the bigger story of
Neltharion
the
saved your
expansion
asses
and won't
last
be left
time.
unresolved and unmentioned till an unspecified point in the future. It won't be left unresolved and unmentioned till an unspecified point in the future, right? Well, I'll tell you right now, I rate this as a measly 3,000 oh god eyes out of 10 billion oh god eyes for being even touched
Oh,
on
man,
again
that's a
in
bad
Dragonflight.
ratio.
I could be wrong, but now that I've played through the story of 10.1 and Aberrus, it seems to me like the old god undertones around Dragonflight are very much there in service of the Black Dragonflight and their story, rather than because the Void are major players in any other sense.
He's
I
probably
could
right.
be wrong, but I am very much of the impression now that, like the Infinites in 10.1.5, this was our old god part of the X-Pack, leaving us with a glimpse of something that may or may not end up important in the future, but which
Void
represents
expansion.
the end of those themes for the rest of Dragonflight. Not that that's a bad thing, really. The Void are clearly going to be a hugely important force going forward, but I'm definitely starting to see Aberrus as the taster for a future X-Pack rather than the first course of something
Yeah,
that
and you
we'll
know,
be chowing down on in
As a
Dragonflight.
future expansion, I know we've seen lots of Void expansion speculation. I actually don't think it's going to be the next one. I really think we're going to get like a other side of Azeroth pirate themed exploration expansion. That's what I think is coming. I don't think we're going to get the Void just yet. We'll continue to see hints of the Void, but I don't think we're getting that expansion for the next one.
Flight. Now where was I? Oh yeah, number 2 again. Okay, fine. Number 3,
Oh, yeah.
the World Tree. Because after
Got a
you just
fucking
totally
seed
leave the
that hasn't
gaping
been
void
planted.
portal in Aberrus and go back to hang with the dragon aspects in the tower, which now include Marithra and Abyssian, of course, there's a pretty important
Abyssian's cool.
story point which...
How many words has Marithra said in this expansion so far? I feel like she's just had this side-eye smile this entire expansion and not said a word.
gets slipped in, which
Sure,
no
her
one
part
is
is
really
coming.
talking about.
No voice lines.
For soon, Azeroth will welcome from the
This is Alexstrasza talking. By the way, she casted the spell, but you see down here, it says Alexstrasza.
Azeroth will welcome
No voice
from
lines.
the dream, a symbol of hope, and together we shall protect it.
New
And
World
it's true,
Tree.
since the patch went live, this momentous news and glimpse at the new World Tree has caused barely a ripple in the community. Mostly because we found out about it in data mining months before the patch had launched, and we...
Discourse.
Much has already been written about this story beat and what it
Holy
means.
shit.
Will the new World Tree be in the Dragon Isles? Seems pretty likely. Will it be the Night Elves' new home? According to Malfurion, yes. But honestly, we don't really have to do what he says. He'll never know.
Toronto.
Most importantly, for our purposes, will this tree be done growing by the end of this expansion? Is this a loose end which will be tied up during Dragonflight?
It's a grower,
And
not
you'd
a
have to
shower.
say,
Gotta give it time.
Yeah, that seems incredibly likely, really, doesn't it? So far, this latest expansion has really lived up to its name in that its main narrative thrust, even more so than the unfolding threat of Iridicron and the Primal Incarnates, is the Dragonflights themselves and their healing. 10.1 seems to have
Yeah.
resolved the Black and Blue's biggest issues. You'd have to say the odds are looking good for 10.2 being the turn of the Greens.
Yeah.
Getting a bit of
10.1.5
catharsis and
is the
self-love, which would
bronze.
mean that, yeah, maybe a proper Emerald Dream patch. Why not? We deserve it, thanks. And could there possibly be a more perfect time for the most perfect symbol of healing and rejuvenation, the new tree? Especially
Yeah.
if it really is
Yeah, I
going
can
to
see
end up
it.
in that big World Tree-shaped gap off the coast. You know, that would definitely suggest that we are on a Dragonflight timeline for this one. And
What
this
is
a
out
big
there? I've never even paid attention to that. What is currently out here? Is it just some islands with nothing going on?
on a Dragonflight timeline for this one. And this is a big deal because
Might
it's
be
not
the
just
spot
a
of the world
huge
tree. I didn't
resolution
even
for the
think
Green
about it.
Dragonflight, arguably all of the playable races in the game,
Nothing?
but
Yeah.
especially the
Looking
Night
more and more like
Elves.
it's gonna be
Will
the World
everyone
Tree
be
spot, though?
happy with how this little Sproutlings glow up and big arrival pans out? Heck no! Will it represent a seminal moment in the in-game lore and history of Azeroth and finally tie up this thread that was first so violently unraveled in 2018? Yes, and most certainly as part of the story of Dragonflight, in my opinion. So I rate the chances of this
love the
one being
Night Elf
done and
music.
dusted by 11.0 a 9 nailed on 6 happy Tyrandas out of shoulder blades.
Oh, wow.
Eon's Reach. All of the story points we've touched on so far are obvious. Grand, sweeping arcs that form the central narrative of not just this one particular expansion, but often the entire game in recent years. They're huge, they're explicit, there is no missing them. But now, I'm going to take you to a place with absolutely no fanfare, no hype, somewhere you've
Okay.
probably never considered to be important at all, and I don't blame you. But it's a place that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since
Is
I
it
first
Volterra
passed
lore?
through it on my leveling journey through the Isles. I can't stop wondering what the story is here, and with each new patch and update to Dragonflight, the answer only becomes more elusive, and my own curiosity even more urgent and tightly wound. Internet, allow me to pose you the question: what is going on in Eon's Reach? So you've almost certainly come
Eon's
across this
Reach.
place. You know when you're flying from Azazspan to Thaldraszus, and as you go over the shifting sand section of the map, the colour on the screen suddenly gets drained away, and the game tells you that you are in a temporal anomaly. I think here, most people, myself included for the first couple of weeks of this game, gave this no more thought beyond, oh man, this looks bad, I better keep flying till I'm out of this thing. And then you get out of this thing, and you go to Thaldraszus and pick up your work
I
orders
don't
or check
think
your
I've
vault or whatever.
come
and all
across
is
that
well.
unless I
You
haven't paid
might have
attention.
assumed that it was part of some quest in the area that you hadn't done yet. Actually,
Yeah.
this is a place, a small village called Eon's Fringe, frozen in time. You may have taken a look around and seen the
fact.
Time Walkers maintaining the time-locked barrier around the village, warning you that there's a dangerous
This
time
looks more like a 10.1.5 thing. This is... I didn't even know about this.
anomaly
I
here.
probably, if I did fly through it, I probably just thought it was a world quest.
that they are containing, you may have decided to make your way into the barrier and seen the time-locked historians running from the place, just inches from escaping whatever it is they are fleeing before the Time Walkers trap them here. You may have taken a moment to look around and seen the other inhabitants seemingly a lot less aware of what is about to happen, preserved in snapshot form as they go about their day.
Damn,
Guardian
that's kinda
Riddick
cool.
chatting with researcher Marok. Gardeners Kibik and Vicar chasing rabbits from their crops. Old Joe very upset about his cabbages, and you know I'm a sucker for an Avatar reference. Kavigos waving to an arriving or possibly leaving Aogosa. Researcher Marok hard at work with his books. Guardians Kane and Shoka fighting two bears. This isn't a random ignored part of the map. It is a living, breathing, fully realized locations, except, you know, not quite living and breathing. Not anymore. Another thing that you'll notice, though, this is not part of any quest currently in the game. Nothing sends you to Eon's Reach. Nothing tells you what happened here. Nothing tells you how to fix what happened here. At the moment, this is just a beautiful bit of environmental storytelling. And that's fine. That's enough to justify its existence.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, it might just be that. They might not do anything with it. This whole frozen in time spot? I mean, what the hell?
You can have a great time just wandering around here, and your
Yeah, maybe that's what it's
investigation will
for.
be rewarded. If you have mining, you can enter the cave behind the frozen bears and find their cub. Clearly, there was a cave-in that trapped Cubbly in there, which is why
And he
his
didn't get
parents are waiting
frozen.
outside, nearer the village than they should be to avoid the attention of the guards, and so aggressive with it. You rescue Cubbly from the prison he found
Damn.
himself in, but will his parents ever know? Whatever, new Cubbly pet for you, but I refuse to believe that this much work went into Eon's Fringe for it just to remain
Might have
an
been scrapped.
unmentioned museum piece for players to maybe stumble on. And I've been thinking about what might have happened here for months now. What are these historians running from that no one else has noticed? And most importantly of all, I suspect, why is researcher Marok in two different places in Eon's Fringe? Yeah, I know. You're suddenly interested
hell?
now, aren't you? And now I've got you interested, I need to come clean. You see, this was a genuine mystery that I've thought about for ages, but actually, I know exactly what's going to happen to Eon's Fringe because it's been updated on the PTR. Yeah, and I suppose I probably should have cut this section from the video, really, but I already started writing it, and it's actually really brilliant, and I want to tell you
so we're
about
gonna
it.
find out.
Eon's Fringe is unlocked in Fractures in Time. The anomaly is sorted, sort of. and
So I
all
was
the
right when I said this will be a 10.1.5 thing.
are going back about their business, sort of. Actually, some of them are still frozen. But if you are familiar with time-locked Eon's Fringe, this area is glorious. The farmers are still running about, chasing rabbits, probably unaware that anything even happened. Old Joe's wagon is still suspended in midair, keeping his precious cargo from getting ruined. Our two blue dragon friends are chilling and chatting. Oh, she was arriving then. The two bears were trying to rescue their young
Okay.
cub, tragically cut down by the town defenders.
Damn,
but
that's
on the
fucked.
plus side, there are quests. It seems like the time anomaly was originally caused by Ironus Coldsteel's Time Forge on the hill. Yeah, it seems likely. Which we helped get back up and running. Because this
Anticlimactic.
whole area will actually be used every day in patch 10.1.5. It's where you go to pick up your Chromie dailies. You've probably heard some more controversial ones recently, but generally they're great.
It's
From
just a
the
daily
inn,
hub.
which it turns out is run by Bartender Bob, canonized officially from Hearthstone. This is
See, this is what I'm talking about. Remember you guys see how we just talked about
Bob, canonized
what's it called?
officially from
The new Titan from Hearthstone. Sometimes there's crossover, even though the lore is Hearthstone lore is based on World of Warcraft. Sometimes there is crossover where Hearthstone lore does show up in WoW. Sam, how do we know the Earth isn't a prism?
Hearthstone. This is all just fantastic.
I have no
Great
fucking
utilization and setup and payoff of the environment. And I really recommend that if you haven't had a chance already, that you go and wander around Eon's Fringe while it is still time.
That would explain the pyramids of Giza. Maybe they're just a map. Maybe. Bob is OP though, is he?
before it changes in the patch, so you can spot all of the little updates. Oh,
By the way, I'm
there
gonna
is
post up
one
Q
thing,
for
though.
Mythic right
There
now.
are still two researcher Maroks. What is going on here? What the actual 5? The Rot. There are other loose threads I could have included in this video. Avaloran with its new race of dwarfs mentioned in the wreckage analysis report found in Uldaman. Ice
fight you
Tower
with
in Azure Span, clearly attacked by Virinoth at some point during the War of the Incarnates. But why? Answers in a soon-to-be-released book near you, I suspect. Basically anything to do with Galakron at this point. But
Sure.
I like lists of 5, so we're going to finish up today with Decatriarch Rathai and the Rot.
Hey everyone! everyone! Welcome to the part of the episode you always look forward to, and I know you never skip, the part where I, Evitel, alert you to the presence of our Squarespace website and tell you all about it. Oh, and to say thanks to Squarespace, who are sponsoring this very video. We've been looking at some cool
While
features.
she talks about
the
Squarespace, I want to tell you guys, I did
template
post a queue
library, the super
for Mythic Raid. You guys can
drag
queue
and
up
drop
right
editor
now.
of your dreams, and of course,
We'll see how
keeping
long it takes
tabs
to
on our
form a group.
analytics. 0 visits from Greenland this month, by the way. Where are you, Greenland? But today, I want to look at the feature we've all been itching to explore: integrated merch. Who, buddy? Setting up a custom shop with
Sam is gonna
Printful
avoid
is
this
a no-brainer, and setup is super
I enjoyed it
easy.
yesterday.
Just click to create and link your accounts, and you're ready to get started. You only pay for what you sell, so no stacks of unpurchased merch languishing in your basement, and products are shipped automatically to you, the customer, so no need to hand over your personal details to some schlub like me to input into an unprotected spreadsheet destined to become a massive GDPR snafu. That has never
by the way,
happened. And
if
get
Mythic
a
Raid
load
takes
of
too
this
long to
merch
form or we can't
catalog.
get it because it's late in the week and people are
Patches,
locked, we're gonna do heroic.
classics,
Because
custom
Neltharian's
line
waiting for us and I gotta
templates,
get my sword.
Extremely on brand. Phone cases, t-shirts, body wash, yoga mats, everything you would ever want to
I
slap a
can't do
T&E
anything.
logo onto and wear or use with pride. And that's just the tip of the iceberg because the catalog is huge. Now
Here we
all I
go.
have to do is choose what our
Chad
first
is
shop
going down
items
the
will
road.
be and what will go on them. And new designs. Okay, I better get cracking actually. What do you want to see T&E on? Merch, I'm talking about merch here. Let us know in the comments, and in the
What's up,
meantime, you can
Warband?
head to squarespace.com to set up your own shop with a free website trial. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/taliesinEvitel and use code
Squarespace.
taliesinEvitel to save 10% off your
Square.
first purchase of a website or
Space.
domain. That's Squarespace.
What if the square is the Earth and space is the space around it? Fuck.
Inevitable.
Oh
for a
no,
little
I
bit
fucking forwarded the
longer
ad.
than
Okay, here we go. We're done.
Custom body
My bad.
pillow.
First of all, Decatriarch is just one of the coolest titles any
Don't get
character
your
has
base.
ever been given in any video game. Decatriarch. It's awesome and fitting because this badass, the final infuriating
talking about our
boss
last
of
attempt at
Dragonflight
Mythic?
Hollow,
Yeah, I
is
mean, it's the first
responsible
week
for that
Mythic
whole
opens, so
plot line
it's
that
gonna
goes
happen.
through the Azure Span leveling campaign where we find out that the Gnoll are just really into decay magic now.
Yeah, they're
for
infected.
some reason. The reason is Rathai, a Gnoll who is said to possess far greater intelligence than Gnolls have been known to before. An intelligence
Yeah, but
which
if you're
innate-
the smartest Null, are you really intelligent? Or are you just not a complete idiot?
enabled her to learn so much about decay magic. Or maybe it was
It's like being the tallest guy in China. Are you really tall or are you just 5'10"?
magic that made her so intelligent.
Just saying.
At any rate, when she starts trying to mess up the ley lines of the zone with all that decay, it's time for us to step in and lay down some proper old-fashioned
class
five-man
win,
wow
yeah.
justice.
Necro
But at
class.
the end of the fight, at
Wow, so
5% health, she CCs us and ports away, shouting, "No, I will lose no more. The rot will come for you, and I will claim your withered bone, your homes, everything," which is
There you go.
ominous. And I think it's pretty certain that we are going to see Decatriarch Rathai again, and I think
Let's talk
it will
short
probably
people.
be
Come
this
on.
expansion too, because here's the thing.
I'm
the
only
rot is
5'10"
kind
on a
of
good
new.
day.
So decay is an element in the cosmology chart, along with water, earth, fire, spirit, and air. And back before the Titans arrived on Azeroth, these elements were running riot across the planet before the old gods conquered them and made them work for them. Before the Titans came along, imprisoned the old gods in the earth, imprisoned the elements in the elemental
Every day you
plane,
wonder, what is
and
that
bing,
blue
bada boom,
drink?
Considered this
It's a
planet
G Fuel.
ordered. And of course, we all know about Ragnaros
You can get
and the
yours with
fire
code
elements. We
Samiccus.
know about earth and air and water too, but along with spirit, decay is something
Chug,
that
chug
we've
for
never
Fortnite, yeah.
really seen up close and in action as an elemental force. Yeah, I know the Drust are all along the same theme, but they're using decay as it relates to the death realm,
Death decay,
not as
yeah.
a pure elemental force. In the same way that, yeah, warlocks use fire,
That's it
but
for
it's
me.
the fell
Up to
embodiment of
30% off.
fire, not the elemental version.
energy.
Because Rathai, she's a shaman. She is harnessing decay from the elemental plane or somewhere else. And as far as I know, it's the first time we've really seen
Yeah,
that
I would give this like a 1% chance that Blizzard continues the story.
game. And it makes you think. The Primal Incarnates are all empowered by recognizable elemental forces. Earth, water,
I'll
fire,
pass, I'll have so much
air.
energy.
Is there one for decay? A pretty feasible endgame for Iridicron and Co. is that they might want to undo the work of the hated Titans and release the elements and elemental lords from the elemental plane. Is there an elemental lord of decay? Are they imprisoned on the plane? And if they were released with the others, well, I can't help but think Galakron is very strongly linked to decay magic. He would eat his friends and then spew them up as undead zombies and then eat them
shit
again.
them out as
Could
zombies.
this be somehow how he makes his return? I honestly think that the elemental lords, and in particular that of decay and spirit, but that's a whole other video, are going to turn out to basically be the climax of the action in Dragonflight. So I rate the chances of the decay thread being tied up at a confident 10.3 patches out of Dragonflight. And there we have it. In my opinion, the 5 biggest most important unresolved plot threads introduced in Dragonflight, and how likely I think they are to be resolved in Dragonflight. But what do you think? What have I missed that is so blindingly obvious that you're going to have to correct me in the comments below? Tally, you moron, you idiot. Please own me as hard as you can. I love it. Or say nice things. I like that too. And if you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our work happen.
The only thing the jailer decayed was the sub count for World of Warcraft. Unfortunately.
If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Researcher Marok.
Good video.
My name is Researcher Marok. No, my name is Taliesin. From me and Nevertell, cheerio.